Hi everyone, and welcome to the Import Objects lesson. In this lesson, you will learn how to load flat file data into Ursa Studio using the import object type. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to get started in Object Workshop, which you can select from the left-hand navigation menu. From Object Workshop, we'll select the Create New Object icon, and then we'll select the Import tile. Import objects are created from flat files and often serve foundational elements of the data model. So in this lesson, we'll use a patient assessment file as our example data. The file we're going to use has 11 columns, 15,000 rows, and is in CSV format. This is the type of file that you might encounter when creating measures to assess patient eligibility for an intervention or enrollment in a health program. So with that in mind, let's jump right into the import process. First, we'll enter the name of the object here. This name will be used to reference the object and will appear in the main table in the Object Workshop screen. At Ursa Health, our technical services team uses the following convention for naming objects, which you may find useful. Each object is going to be prefixed with a token that contains an abbreviation of the object's layer. So, for example, SD for source data. That's followed by a / and concluded with an abbreviation for the data description. For example, UH for United Health, or in our case, we will use TRN for training. These abbreviations are wrapped in brackets. This token is followed by a simple, descriptive name for the object, so the end result will look like what I've typed in. Our team has found this to be an easy way to keep objects in the data model organized and easy to reference. Next, we'll enter the name of the table to be created in the data model. And here again, the Ursa Health Technical Services team has created a convention that you might find valuable. We'll start with a token representing the layer, so SD for the source data layer. Follow the layer token with a source token, so something like UH for United Health, or in this case, we'll use TRN for training. The data source token is followed by a description of the file. You could use MEM for membership file, but in our case, we will use PAT_assess for patient assessment. If needed, you can suffix the descriptions with a number like 001 to indicate ordering. The result is a table named SD, TRN, PAT, assess 001. You can select the reference data checkbox when the file being loaded is reference data. This is, generally speaking, data created and maintained by national or international organizations like the World Health Organization, CMS, or the AMA. Files generated from payer or provider systems are unlikely to be reference data. In our case, we will leave this box unchecked and we'll move on to the configuration panel. The File Import Location dropdown is where you specify if you'd like to import data from your local file system, the collection of Ursa standard reference files, or if Ursa is installed in the cloud, the storage container Ursa Studio has access to. We will select the local file system option. Here you're presented with the standard Choose File button, and you can select the file that you'd like to load. When you select the Is Zipped option, you can import a flat file within a zipped file. As you can see, if the zip file is password protected, you can enter a password here. Since we are importing a CSV file, we can unselect this option. The platform can handle any delimiter, but by default, it assumes a CSV file. Since we are working with a CSV file, we can leave this field blank. This checkbox allows you to specify that the file is in a tab delimited format, while this checkbox specifies that the file is in a fixed width format. When this option is selected, you are prompted to select a data dictionary file, which can be either a 2 or 3 column data dictionary structure. The next field is where you specify the quote or escape character that's used in the file you're importing. Double quotes are the default value as the system assumes a CSV file format. And the final option in the configuration panel, which is selected by default, is the Has Header checkbox. This option instructs the system to ignore the first row in the file because it contains column names. When this option is selected, the table's column names are derived from the header row. Moving on, the source field is for identifying the data's source, so you can enter and reuse an identifier representing a single source of data. For example, the source system or sender of the data. For our purposes, we will use training for our source identifier. This field is for specifying the date the flat file was extracted from its source system. For example, if a monthly membership file for October was generated on November 5th, the data effective date would be November 5th. For our example, we can just use today's date. The data covered start and end date fields are used to identify the period of time that the data covers. Using our previous example of a monthly membership file for October, the data covered start date would be October 1st, and the data covered end date would be October 31st. For our purposes, we can just use the first and last days of the current month for the patient assessment file. Now that all of our parameters are set, we can upload this file by clicking the Upload File icon in the upper right-hand corner of the panels. Alright, so now the file has been imported and the new object has also been created. So let's open the file to review a few more features of the import object. So everything here looks pretty much the same as how we left it, but there are a few additional options worth pointing out. So once an object has been created, it can be overwritten or appended to. The "This table already exists in the database" option allows you to accomplish whichever of those tasks are needed. When the Overwrite Existing Table option is selected, the system performs a full data load where the contents of the existing table are completely overwritten. When the Append to Existing Table but Overwrite upon Match of option is selected, the system performs an incremental load where new records are appended to the existing table and existing records with a matching key or keys are updated. The Data Review panel provides a 25-row preview of the file that was loaded. The final row in the table provides some basic summary statistics about each column. This panel is useful for quick validation of your import. And as you can see, you can also restrict the results of this table by using the filtering options directly above it. Following your initial import, the ETL History panel provides summary details about the file upload. Here you can find useful metadata about all of the object's previous uploads. Alright, we're almost finished, but before wrapping up this lesson, let's take a quick review of some of the icons on this page. We saw what this upload file icon does just a moment ago, so we don't need to unpack this one any further. Now, this data review icon provides a more robust alternative to the data review panel we just explored. When you select this icon, a new tab opens that offers a dedicated analytics portal style screen for this object. Here, you can review all of the data, apply more sophisticated filters, create boards, and share news. So most of the key functions of Analytics Portal are available in this data review window. Jumping back over to the Import Object tab, when this archive icon is selected, the object will be removed from the Object Workshop table and will be listed under the Archived Objects blade in the Object Workshop screen. You can retrieve and restore an archived object at any time. So that's it. Thank you for taking the time to review this lesson, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the next one.